The 4v4 rivalry battle between Team White being Isagi, Nagi, Barou, and Chigiri versus Team Red being Rin, Aryu, Tokimitsu, and Bachira, we see the score now being 4-3 Team Red, with Rin making a crazy free kick goal, putting Team White in jeopardy. Due to this, Isagi decides to really think about and reflect on that moment. As Isagi reflects, he says that there was no feasible way to defend that shot of Rin's, and instead what he really should have been focusing on was Tokimitsu and Rin's breakthrough play. As everyone was moving a bit sluggish at that moment, Rin took it upon himself to utilize Tokimitsu and his unlimited stamina to his advantage. As Isagi says that if he were to have noticed Tokimitsu's ability beforehand, he might have been able to change the outcome of the play, but at the same time he's also insanely furious, knowing that as soon as he feels like he's caught up to Rin, he's always just one step short. Isagi then sees Barou, saying how if he was in that wall, he would have jumped and blocked the shot for sure. But Isagi says to himself that Rin only kicked it above his head because he was in the wall. And if Barou was in the wall instead of him, Rin just would have found another shooting route. And that's when it hit Isagi, that Rin only shot the ball that way because he was his opponent. And from that perspective, if he can utilize himself from a different angle, he can finally devour Rin. And in that moment, Isagi has finally thought of the formula to beating Rin. But the real question is if he can pull it off or not. As we restart the match, we see Barou running towards Tokimitsu, and as Barou states that if he can't outmaneuver Tokimitsu, then he can't score. But that's when Isagi follows through behind Barou and his movements. And as Barou gets the idea from Isagi that he wants him to ditch Tokimitsu, we see him do just that. As he gets past him, he also asks for the ball. But then we see Tokimitsu still on Barou's tail, telling him that he hasn't gotten past him yet. As Isagi gets past both of them, revealing that he only used Barou as bait, we see Bachira quick to follow up with him. As Nagi is now beside Isagi asking for the pass, we see Isagi state that no matter what they do, Rin is always observing them, lying in wait for the perfect time to strike. But luckily, Isagi took that into account, and as everybody is waiting for him to pass, with a single move, he's able to change the tides of this war, as he decides to send the ball to Chigiri all the way on the other side of the field. As Chigiri and Aryu are now racing for the ball, we see everyone run towards the goal zone in anticipation of Chigiri's pass. And because of this, Isagi decides to cut towards the inside to disappear into the far side of Rin's field of vision by breaking through diagonally to the goal post. As Chigiri understands this movement of Isagi's, he sends the ball to him. As Isagi claims for this moment to be the future that he's envisioned, where he can use a direct shot and score, we see Rin appear to stop Isagi at all costs. With Rin seeing through this play of Isagi's, this proves that Isagi can't beat Rin. Or does it? As Isagi claims to have got Rin right where he wants him, he admits that if he were to shoot from there, Rin would have been able to stop him, but to do so he'd have to step out to block the shot. Rin believes that the next move that they'll both make will be their last, and that this is only possible because he could predict what Isagi could do. And as it turns out that he's not shooting from there, Rin has already taken his last step, and because of this, he'll fall behind to Isagi's movements. And now that Isagi is in the blind spot of the genius such as Rin, he's able to perform his true last move, a direct shot backwards. And as he hits this back heel shot of his, it hits top bins, tying up the match. With Team White back in the game, Isagi declares that he's finally devoured the puppeteering master himself, Itoshi RIn. As Nagi and Chigiri praise Isagi for that shot of his, we see Barou ask Isagi if the entire play just now was calculated or not. Isagi then answered this question, saying that yes it was. With the assumption that Rin would predict everything, Isagi finalized his play with the back heel shot as the finisher. Under normal circumstances, Isagi would have been able to hit a direct shot from where he was, but because he's playing against a genius such as Rin, with his superior physical capabilities, Isagi knew that Rin would have been able to follow through with his play right up until the very end, stating that this formula was specifically designed to counter Rin, and was only made possible because Isagi believed in him. While Team White's morale has been boosted to the max, we see Bachira asking himself what is the ego he's lacking in order to catch up with both Isagi and Rin, stating that the reason he came to Blue Lock was to find a monster and to find friends he could play soccer with. But with that ego alone, he won't be able to reach the world, so he asks what else he should be wishing for. As Tokimitsu and Aryu are shocked at that back heel shot of Isagi's, we see Rin demand from the whole team to bring out everything they've got or die trying, claiming that he'll be the one to score the final goal. As we kick off this last play with Tokimitsu and RIn trading passes, we see Team White quick to follow and try to get the ball back. As Isagi states that like Tokimitsu and RIn's midfield breakthrough play earlier, now with Barou and Chigiri pressing him, Tokimitsu will get nervous and pass the ball right back to RIn. And as Tokimitsu does that, Isagi manages to cut in at the right time in an attempt to intercept the pass, but sadly he just barely misses it. RIn then hits a high ball pass to Aryu, and as Nagi is on him, he says that he'll let Aryu trap the ball in mid-air first, and when it bounces off him, he'll steal it. And as he successfully steals the ball from Aryu, we just see Aryu steal it right back with his limbs. As Isagi still tries to keep up with RIn to hold him down, we see Aryu say that Isagi is always in the way, but he does see an opening as he passes the ball behind Isagi to Bachira. As of right now, Bachira is being tested on what he can do, and as he thinks of what to do, he asks his monster what he should do to get those two to acknowledge him. And due to the zoned out Bachira right now, Chigiri manages to tackle Bachira and get the ball away. As the ball is now heading towards Barou and Tokimitsu, we see Barou struggling to keep the ball. As Team White tries to counterattack, we see Nagi alongside Bachira saying that this is unlike him, asking him if he's trying to throw the game. In that moment, Nagi decides to also ask him another question, being whether or not Bachira still thinks that he'll get picked if Team White ends up winning the game. Keeping it real with our boy Bachira, saying to him that the way that he is right now, Team White doesn't need him, saying that if they win, they'll pick RIn. And he's pretty sure Isagi feels the same way as well. And with that said, Bachira starts freaking out, being that if they lose, he won't be able to play with either of them. And because of this, Bachira decides to make it his mission to win, even if it kills him. But the real question is our best boy Bachira just all talk right now? Or is he going to go through some sort of mid-game transformation or awakening in order to win the match? Hey guys, Dark Hero Josh here, and that was how Isagi surpassed the puppet master Itoshi RIn. So, if you guys did enjoy the video, then please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and comment down below what other Blue Log moments would you guys be interested in seeing next on the channel. And without further ado, I hope you guys have a great day, and see ya.